Hello everyone, and welcome back to another build. This is going to be a Tudor cottage. It's also in Windenburg. I bulldozed that. I don't know if you know, but like that. I don't know if you know those people. I should say the sisters, and they have a really cute cottage there, but it's like massively big and has a big garden around it. So I bulldozed their house because I really like the scenery. I stole it for the land. And so I built this cottage, and I think I'm getting better at building these because this video is only going to be 16 minutes long and it's the entire thing. Although it took me a while to settle on this style. I literally bulldozed and built this place maybe like 5 or 6 times before I was like, you know what? I like this. And originally I was going to make it look more cottagey than Tudor. But the Tudor style seemed to go really nicely with the build, so I went with that instead. And I really wanted to make these red, like, eaves work. And I was going to go with brick and things like that, but I was just like, brick doesn't really suit a cottage at all. So I tried to go with these red paneling and, like, the stone or, like, some white paneling. And I just wasn't happy with it. It didn't look nice. So I ended up going with this Tudor style, and it heavily influenced the furniture style on the interior. And it looks good. It looks great. So I'm kind of happy that I changed my mind and went with Tudor. I seem to be doing a lot of Tudor builds, and I have no idea why. Like, I haven't finished it yet. I still have to furnish it, but I built like this nice Tudor home sort of mansion inside like the downtown area of Windenburg. Don't know why I'm on a Tudor binge, but I am. And I really wanted a sunroom because this house had such like great views around it. And I'm like, you know what? Let's build a little sunroom with a glass roof. I think that's what I wanted most when I went into this build. I wanted a cottage that had like a really nice glass roof, and I was really worried that that roof there would hinder a door being able to go there, because that gets turned into one of the 2 bedrooms. I need to stop saying and I struggle a lot with the layout of the the second floor. I guess it would be struggling with the first floor, just basically where am I putting these stairs? Yeah. And so I like that, having that 3 space area, but I could still have like a really good size master bedroom and a really good size like single bedroom. There is only 1 bathroom in this build. I know you're shocked, but I've only built the one, and it's on the 2nd floor. And normally I build a bedroom for every sim who lives. I build a bathroom for every sim who lives in the house, plus one in the downstairs. But nope, today I went with a single bathroom. I figured it was like a cottage. There wouldn't be too many bathrooms. If anything, the bathroom would be on the 1st floor and not on the 2nd floor because of how hard it was to plumb things back then. Because I wanted it to look very old. And I really wanted doors to the back area to have like a little step down and whatnot. But I really didn't like the way that door looked, and it's so crappy that is our only like floor to ceiling window that has matching windows that look really good door, and can't use it because it has that weird sticky outy bitty. And for some reason I wanted to do that where I pulled out the room, and I'm like, you know what, I should pull out the bottom too, and just to give it a little bit more room. And that allows the master bedroom, the bigger bedroom of the 2, to have a walk-in, not a walk-in closet, but like a wardrobe, the in-wall wardrobes. It also let me make the roofs look a little bit better, because they were they matched, but on the sides you could see that they weren't lining up like 100%, and it was bugging me. Just a little bit. So I was just like, whatevs. I'll just pull out this wall, and then that's really only a problem on one side of the build now and not both. And I went with these really like old dark wood flooring because I felt like it made the Tudor home feel really alive. And everything where there's supposed to be tile is slate flooring. And now I'm just going to do the landscaping because I thought this was going to be a really long build. So I kind of did all the landscaping because just in case this would end up being a build only and not a furnishing one, I wanted that done in this one. Because usually it takes me, like, once I know what I'm doing, the build takes me like 30 to 50 minutes, maybe 30 to an hour. Whereas furnishing usually takes me an hour to like 3 hours, depending on the size of the house. And, like, if I have to shift things in the walls around to make the furniture look good. Yeah, putting in some trees. I was like, I don't want to go with birch because I don't notice any birch around here. But then, like, right in front of the house, there's a patch of birch. So I'm like, okay, I could go with birch here. It's fine. I do like to match the settings around, which makes me so upset that The Sims is very limited in, like, certain neighborhoods. They all have a certain style, and I feel obligated to follow those styles because I'm the type of person who likes order. I like order. I don't like chaos. I do like a little bit of chaos, but mostly order. And so I wanted to, like, match the scenery around it. And I find that the scenery around it kind of influences my build big time. I don't know if that's how for anybody else. Like, I've seen people build some really weird stuff and some really awesome stuff in settings where I'd be like, "Ooh, that doesn't look right. I don't like it there," just because, you know, it doesn't match the neighborhood. And historical neighborhoods are something that I love to walk through and look at, and I think they're really pretty. And it's just, why would you want to, you know, drop a modern build in, like, a historical area? It bugs me so much. In one of my previous videos, I went on a tangent about how that's why I don't like modern builds. Like, I don't like the look of them is because, you know, I grew up in a very traditional home sort of residential area, and they slapped down some random modern buildings in a few places, and it looks so ugly. It didn't match the rest of the neighborhood, and that's where I kind of got my thought of, like, oh, I hate modern. But now that I'm older and wiser and building them in The Sims, I kind of like them. Not crazy about them, but I don't mind them. And I like to build them, but I would probably never live in one. I would live in, like, a country home or a Tudor home for sure. Although they're probably really, really high upkeep just because of, like, how old they are and stuff like that. Oh yes, now we're on to the furnishing. We've been on it for a while. You know, trotted off into my own little world there. Yes, the kitchen. I really wanted to make it look old. And I love that stove and fridge so much, but I feel like it needs to stand alone. It can't be wedged in with counters and stuff because of the style of the stove. Or even the style of the fridge. It kind of just doesn't work. And I really wanted this table in here so badly. Just because I had the counters, but I wanted a little bit more, you know, surface room. And, you know, towards the end of the build, I throw a bunch of clutter on it. And it ends up looking really good and kind of being the focal point for me of this kitchen. And I really like that shelf from Jungle Adventure. Yeah, so at first I just put that stuff on there and I'm like, cool, that's done. And then later on I go and chuck a bit more clutter onto it and it just looks so much cooler. And I couldn't find a rug that really fit that room. So I was just like, you know what? No rug. And the dining area is just going to be this little corner here. I didn't want to make the build too big, so I didn't build a full-on dining room, even though, like, an old Tudor building would have its own separate dining room. But this is also a cottage, so cottages are very small, very pokey. And then I was like, oh yeah, you know, it'd be great in this room, a fireplace. And there is a television. Like, this place isn't completely without, you know, modernization. I just shove it in a corner and it's the small television. And it's kind of not the focal point of this room. And I was like, you know what, that rug looks good there, but that rug's too small. And I was just like, I really like that rug though so much, the one that's underneath the dining table. And I wanted, like, I didn't want anything to, I was having a lot of red in this room and I'm like, okay, it needs to calm down with the thing. But I think that rug might be a little too white, just too much brightness. I think when I changed the lights out for, like, more dull lights, it looks a little bit better. But right now it's kind of like, whew, it's a lot of white, and it made me want to change the couches to be more cushy, more comfy, because those couches look like, you know, benches with like cushions on them, and I'm like, I want something more cozy. And then I really like those little old style end tables, and you know, it wouldn't be complete without a little chair over there. I thought it turned out quite nice. I rarely ever build red rooms because I find them like really lush, and if they are, and even though I love red, like even if they are rooms, it's usually like a bedroom, not a common room. And I found this one to work out nice because it's a Tudor home. I never feel the need to actually paint the walls like with actual paint colors. I usually just bring the stone and the, I don't know, what would that be called? That like almost drywall looking stuff. I forget what it's called. And I really wanted a side table here, but I couldn't find one small enough. Like, they're so massive. So I went with my little stool there that I love. I love it. And I put a little plant on it, a little red plant. And then I was just like, okay, that's enough red. That's just a little too much. But yeah, so like Tudor homes are really easy because you never really have to paint the walls, because the exterior and the interior is usually similar. It's usually the exact same. Yeah, little pictures here. And I was like, oh, okay, those ones are historic. Oh, I'm going to put those there. Upstairs, bedroom. So I ended up using a lot of stuff from, I think it's Pets, for the master bedroom, just because it all kind of went nice. And it turns out to be like this very white and brown, very plain room. So I tried to jazz it up with some color with a carpet, and that didn't work out too well. So I can't remember what I did. I just finished this and I can't remember what I did. I think I just added paintings and like little decor that was a little bit more colorful to bring some more color into this room. And I really wanted like a little footstool at the end of the bed, but I figured it might get in the way of, you know, traction. So I ended up using also from Pets. Well, it's not called Pets, it's called Cats and Dogs, because why would we reuse our titles? Yeah, I just put like these like big old paintings all around it, and that brings a little bit more color into even though they're scenic things. And don't worry, I'm not done. I'll go back and decorate it later. But I'm just like, I don't want to take too long, so I'm just like, go to the next room, then do all the decorating. Don't get hung up on decorating, because like the furniture is easy. You know what you need in a room. You need a bed, a dresser, table, whatever. It's the decorating where you're like, oh, well, this will look good here, but what about this and this and this and this? So I'm trying to like leave the finishing touches to the end, so that I'm not getting hung up, you know, in one room and, you know, not leaving myself enough time, and then I get tired at the end of the build, which all this decorating, and I'm done. But now we're on to lighting, which means we are almost done. I did put some lights up there just because it's always so dark when you have the countertop, the cupboards, so I always stick those lights underneath, even though they kind of don't match the build. They're really good light sources, so it's fine. The upstairs turns out to be a little bit darker, but I kind of liked it. I felt like it really suit the Tudor home of being like super dark upstairs, kind of like warm lights. I do make the hallway a little bit brighter with a different light. But like the bedrooms are really warm and cozy and like darker. Because like, who wants a super bright bedroom anyways? You know, like you want to go to sleep. You don't want to be awake. Yeah, I think I'm going to change the light out soon. I'm just adding a little few things. I wanted to put that there, but it was slightly too big. So I'm like, just that one. I hadn't used it yet. I love that plant, and I hadn't used it yet. Yeah, also pet stuff. Apparently pet stuff and Tudor stuff go really well together. That light that's in the hallway there is from the Pets. I rarely ever use it, but it's actually quite cute. So maybe you'll see it more often. And then I went with the outside lights in this little sunroom, and I turned it into an art studio / little gardening area. Because why not? Why not? I don't do too much with the outside, because I kind of wanted it to blend in. with the scenery around it, so I didn't want to add too much to it. I didn't put any like furniture outside or anything like that. It's very simple, just the shrubbery that I had before. That's it. And I had some trouble getting all this stuff on the table because it wasn't letting me just raise it up nicely, and so I'd have to remove something and then get the height and then put it back and then move it over there. But none of that stuff is actually on the table. It's all sort of floating. And yeah, that's where I added more stuff to that little table, those little pots and pans. I love it. And the cookie jar, it's so cute. Yeah, it's all floating on the table. So if you wanted to chuck a laptop on there or something, you could. There's also a desk in the I guess the, single bedroom, possibly a kid's room. It's not very kiddish. I didn't decorate it like a child's room. It's a single person's room. A young person or an old person, it does not matter. And I really wanted that there, but it was kind of floating. So one of the little, I think there's like 4 articles on it. One of them's not there. And now screenshots, because it's done. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. I post a video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you wanted to get this house, it is on the Sims 4 gallery. You can either click the link in the description or look me up on my Origin ID, which is StefanyRed. Thanks so much for watching, and have an amazing day!